I've been wanting to make a rap song about gang stalking, and this is my first attempt at that. So yeah, this is for the gang stalkers. I was right about to go to sleep, and then I had a really interesting thought about gang stalking, shed some new light on it, and it just literally just in a fucking instant just was gone from my mind. And right when it was gone from my mind, I thought there's no fucking way, because it was so slick. There was no way. It didn't feel like normally when they take something out of your fucking head or whatever. And then, but then, sure enough, female V2K woman, voice to skull lady, or in the voice transmission says, "This made you forget it all." And then she literally said that. So I mean, I was about to go to sleep. You didn't have to do that. We had a good day, gang stalkers. You didn't do too much bullshit today. You didn't have to go. You didn't have to do that. So I decided I might as well make a video about it, and might as well throw in this little rap I wrote. So here that goes.
Agitated, the situation is minions of Masons who claim Illuminati invaded my meditation. CIA agents fill up a dude's body with great rates of radiation, remotely aiming negative brainwave entrainment, and all for what? For some sick psychos entertainment. How else can I explain it? They worship Satan. Not satisfied until I die, or I'm a vagrant, so I'll stay faded. Weed smoker, my occupation to evade the aggravation of that V2K. Don't give a fuck about what you're saying. We got some parasites and viruses dividing us. I'll insert knives inside of all of these psychiatrists and Slicin. Should've been more nice to us, still dicing. I'm booking it from the feds and on the lookout for Enlightenment. Exposing hidden info and hella barless prison time. I'm info. Even Alex Jones saying we some schizos. Practicing preach positivity, it comes back tenfold. Inevitable when all the wicked and ungodly are done with. Until then, not one good deed goes unpunished. So stand by that Second Amendment, and enemies of it I ain't friends with. How do politicians keep track of these lies? Weren't they the constant victims of these homicides? Waging war on your mind until it's fried. Bombing brown people till there's no more left alive. So far, got no guard against the subliminals. A critical factor being a targeted individual with weapons well equipped, put a hole in a pig and dip. I'm ready for revolution like Libya and Egypt. You fucking lackey, you picked the wrong fucking target. You should've known I'd be the fucking hardest. If it were up to me, I'd leave these PERPs retarded and departed for this shit they fucking started. Regardless of the consequences, off the fence, bitch, smack you back to your senses, and then I'll end this.
So yeah, that's what I wrote that like a month and a half ago, and I just finished it up, touched it up just now. And there's a lot of stuff, I think, there's a lot of stuff you can talk about that I want to talk about in more rap songs about this stuff. So that's just a rough draft of something I want to do in the future. With the minded thing that they do, this is just some more notes for my journal I thought I'd cover. Since I'm making a video, I might as well cover some of the latest stuff I've written down here. When they're doing the minded stuff, they might tell you, "Oh, we're just letting the air out of you," which is probably, an inside joke for them or whatever. That, and maybe that's how they'll trick littler kids into doing this, and other tests that they've done on even smaller kids. Like, most people think I'm a young T.I., but I'm sure they do this to kids that are as young as 5, because they love to do that. But so they'll try and trick you into giving up, into just letting go of it, because they'll say, "Oh, it's just air or whatever. Don't worry about it. We're just letting the air out of you." I was thinking about looking into radionics, because I've heard that mentioned, and I heard female V2K that I just mentioned. This whole video is about and inspired by. She said when I thought about radionics, "Don't touch it," and she said, "Don't touch it," meaning like don't even touch on that. Don't even go there. Don't even think about that. It's a little intimidation, implying that there's something bad will happen if you do that. They also like to refer to when they mind you, they refer to what they're taking out of you. Sometimes it's mind power, and they'll say that if they've taken a lot of mind power out of
you, they'll say, "Oh, look how little he is." It's like they're looking at an image of your brain on a screen. That's how I figured how it's working, and then they take enough of it out or turn enough of it off, and you don't even pop up with their, on the monitor anymore. Like it's not lighting up your brain anymore so much, and so it's, oh, look how little of his brain's lighting up is how I figured that. What I imagine that means. I can't be too sure. There is a black speck that I'll see out, like it's some problem with my right eye that started right after the gang stalking started. I don't know what it means, but it's like I think it's called a floater or something. It's just like a black speck that I'll see sometimes out of the corner of my eye, and it'll move around based on where my right eye moves. I don't know if that's related. But I thought I'd mention it since it did start after, and I'd never had any problem there. I just saw it right now for the first time, and there it is. Changes sometimes. Sometimes it's fuzzy. Sometimes it's like a clear, like it almost looks like a hole in reality. It's such a perfect black spot. But oh, when you walk through doorways in your house, sometimes they do some sort of minding, like as you're moving from room to room. They like to do it then. I don't know why. They'll in the Discover article that I talked about in the last video, Army breakthrough in mind reading technology, or whatever the headline was about the synthetic telepathy. It talks about how they couldn't tap into your direct thought, but they found out that when you're about to say something, you imagine what it's going to sound like subconsciously, so that you know what you're going to say is going to come out right, and they can pick up on that copy that you're creating. Is what it was saying. So I thought that was interesting. It's not actually your thoughts that you're reading. It's like your thoughts about your thoughts, or your rehearsal of your thoughts that they're tapping into. Possibly, and probably, if that article has any truth to it. When they repeat your thoughts, it's like they're, if you'll be thinking along a certain line that they don't like you'll be breaking out of their patterns of thinking, and then they'll take it over by really quickly repeating the last sentence of what you're saying, mixed with like maybe a quick like brainwave entrainment type manipulation, so that you feel negative. They just mess with, like, if you they want you in like this jagged. The only way I can think of it is like they want you in this jagged, like, negative thought to negative thought randomly. If you start going on a smooth line of thought, they'll try and break you back out of it into the chaotic thought. Oh, this is a warning to new TIs. Oh shit, somebody told me this when I first became a TI. It might seem like you have to focus your mind in a bunch of new weird ways to either avoid the technology or communicate clear with the synthetic telepathy, and don't do that. They want you to do that. It's just to mess up your mind. But it's important to point out that being able to remove thoughts from people isn't just something you can find in the DSM as a psychiatric illness. It's a real thing now. This was just in the news, I think 2 days ago. Chip implant can control the brain transfer. Can control the brain and transfer thoughts, memory, and behavior. Scientists working at the University of Southern California, home of the Department of Homeland Security's National Center for Risk and Economic Analysis, terrorism events have created an artificial memory system that allows thoughts, memories, and learned behavior to be transferred from one brain to another. And that's just the latest. I'll post that and maybe some other sources for the technology. I don't know exactly which version of it they're using on me, but I mean, it's going down. I've heard other targets talk about it. Just read the comments on all my videos and you'll see them describing the exact same stuff.